Well, hello there, Internet, and welcome back to the All Elite Ensemble post show here at BC Wrestle Pod, your weekly AEW post show. My name is Mikey, and tonight I am going to be rocking the AEW post show by myself tonight. My regular scheduled co host, Benny, is taking the night off. He is enjoying his birthday, so happy birthday, my friend. So, and this is a big one because technically this is our go home post show. So, this is the last show that we are going to be covering Dynamite and Collision because next Tuesday we are going to be talking about AEW's All In. So, we're going to be covering our pay per view next Tuesday. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. And we're having a watch along this Sunday, but more on that information a little bit later. So tonight we are going to go through the Wednesday, August 19th edition of Dynamite and the August 22nd edition of Collision. And then we're going to make our predictions for All In with the card that we have so far. So without further ado, let's just get into it. As always, we're going to start with AEW Dynamite. And I'm just going to be running through Dynamite and Collision as fast as I can and then talking about All In. So pretty self-explanatory shows this week. We kicked Dynamite off though with a trios match. Last week, Will Ospreay was still running into some problems with the Don Callis family. So Will Ospreay called up some of his United Empire boys. So in this, he was able to get a hold of Francesca Akita and Hanare, and they took on Brian Cage, Rocky Romero, and Lance Archer. Very fun stuff. It keeps Will Ospreay busy as him and Kenny will be having their match at All In this Sunday. Really fun stuff. Some spots I really enjoyed here. I really enjoyed Francesco Akira doing the chops to Lance Archer because the size difference is hilarious. And then, of course, the ending with Rocky Romero doing the shimmy shake with Will Ospreay hitting the hidden blade for the win. Really fun match, gives Ospreay the win, and yeah, I mean, I had a good time with this one. Now, after this match, though, Okada is backstage, and he's played devil's advocate in this whole entire match that is happening between him and Fletcher and Takeshita for the international championship. And Okada says that it doesn't matter who wins as long as it stays in the Don Callis family. Kyle should be good with that, and he is okay with it too. Which prompts Kyle Fletcher to go out and cut a promo in which we get a returning Takeshita just completely decimating Kyle Fletcher, letting it be known that he hasn't forgotten what happened and he's coming back for his title. I honestly think, and a lot of people have been saying that this match is probably going to be like one of the best matches on the card. I think it's going to be really good stuff too. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it this Sunday. And we're going to talk about predictions about who's walking away the champion. So, more to come a little bit later. After this, though, we get into our sit down interview with Renee Paquette. This is probably one of the best segments that we have seen so far for this feud going into All In, and it definitely solidified, if it wasn't already established before, who is the face and who is the heel in this feud. Kenny Omega spouting some nasty jabs to Will Ospreay about his mother and his son, just pure venom coming out of his mouth and getting under Ospreay's skin. Ah, man, this match is gonna rule this Sunday. So this is the precursor, though, to what happened at the end of the show. So we're gonna talk more about that here. But really great sit down segment. Kenny Omega officially letting everybody know that he is the heel in this one. So this is gonna be a fun match to talk about in our predictions. But after the sit down, we get into our next match, which is a four-way dance for the TBS Championship. Of course, this is our TBS champion, Miss Maya World, defending her title against Chris Statlander, Persephone, and Hikaru Shida. So really, really fun stuff here. Honestly, I thought this was a really fun match. Chris Statlander probably is my favorite thing in this match. Like Homegirl got hit with the DDT and then kept up instead of doing a regular kick out. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, girl, what is happening? It was really fun. Persephone also doing really some fun stuff here. But ultimately, Maya World picks up the victory. She retains her TBS championship. Chris Statlander was not too happy about it, but we haven't seen any further development, so we're going to see what happens. But Maya is still your TBS champion. After this match, though, we get a promo from the Brawling Birds who are coming for Divine Dominion, and they are going to, destroy them. Again, it's the same kind of back and forth promo we've seen from these two teams going into All In. The match itself is going to slap, but the build has yet to be desired. But I really like this promo from the Brawling Birds. Really fun stuff. Next up, we have our Continental Cup quarterfinal match, Jay White versus John Moxley. I was a little heartbroken, as they said last week. I wanted this to be the finals at All In, but nonetheless, man, what a good match. This was such a fantastic match, honestly. Moxley does really well to work with anybody, and Jay White just is like one of the best like counter wrestlers I have seen within the last couple of years. This was a really fantastic back and forth. Moxley would end up beating Jay White, but really fun stuff. Man, I highly recommend you go out of your way to watch this because this is a really solid match. Now, after the match, though, is when things get interesting because the dogs with the Gabe Kid come out to attack Jay White. The Bang Bang Gang come out. Then we have, the good, the bad, and the beautiful or the guapo. The demand is out. Basically, Hangman Page throws down the challenge that anybody who wants a trios championship can come get some, and everybody out here doing stuff. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna see how this works. Backstage, Maya Worlds is being interviewed by Renee. Willow comes in to says, you know what, she appreciates Maya, and she's here to give Maya Worlds a championship opportunity. So on Collision, Willow Nightingale will be defending her AEW Women's World Champion against the TBS champion, Miss Maya World. We're going to talk about that match because I thought it was really fun a little bit later when we get to Collision. But this is a precursor because Willow was getting ready for her interview face to face with Mercedes Monet. But before that, though, John Cruz coming out here cutting a promo in Spanish on the behalf of NJF to Andrade. Andrade coming out to beat down John Cruz in a quick squash match. MJF cuts a pre-tape promo from his jacuzzi talking about how Andrade is like not a threat and he's going to win the Casino Gauntlet match at All In to go and get his championship back that he rightfully deserves. Really interesting stuff. I'm excited to see who else is going to be in this Casino Gauntlet match at Wembley, but really fun stuff. Now, if anybody who is of a certain age is very familiar with the song Nuck If You Buck, that is exactly the best way to describe how this interview with Renee went. Willow and Mercedes shading jabs as they had to be separated in separate rooms when doing this, interview with the crowd. Then, of course, the earrings come off and all hell breaks loose. They were throwing punches. They fought from the backstage to the crowd in the ring. Mercedes throwing some jabs, Willow throwing some jabs. Nuck If You Buck was alive and well in this one. Security had to come out and separate the two. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite feuds going into All In. So really good stuff. And we're going to see how everything transpires this Sunday. After this, though, Prince Nana and Swerve are backstage where Swerve, heard what Hangman have to say about any trios can get a shot at the trios championships. And Swerve says, do you mean it? It's like, don't say it if you don't mean it. Could this be the image that we see at All In this Sunday with Swerve answering the Trios Championships Open Challenge, and we get the debut of Kofi and Xavier to join Swerve? I don't know, man. We're going to see how this works, but we'll see. Anything can happen at Wembley. We get our other Continental Cup quarterfinal match, Nigel McGuinness versus Echiseto. Nigel is still working with an injured ankle, and it definitely shows in this match, but really good stuff. Echiseto being a very smart heel and attacking the ankle, which is really fun as well. Really solid back and forth. Nigel McGuinness would end up winning this match, moving on to the semifinals, which we will talk about what those matches entail a little bit later. But after this match, though, Kevin Knight kills Darby Allin with some pyrotechnics, which leads to an on-screen debut of Stephen Borden, Sting's son, getting after Kevin Knight for attacking Darby. Yeah, really good stuff. I was a little worried because I felt like we kind of forgot about Kevin and Darby's feud, and we really only heard Darby talk. But this was really great from Kevin, being a super solidifying himself more as a heel. Love to see it. Now, we get to our main event of Dynamite, the trios match. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on El Clon, Davis, and Doyle of the Don Callis family. Really, really fun stuff. Kenny Omega and the Bucks pick up the victory here. But then after the match, Will Ospreay comes out. Him and Kenny exchange some words. They fight, and Kenny Omega delivers a one-winged angel to Will Ospreay through the table, thus bringing Dynamite to an end. Really fun stuff on Dynamite this past week. Again, continuing some more feuds going into All In this Sunday. And yeah, really fun show. Now, let's get into AEW Collision. So, Collision was a bit on the shorter side because we kind of just kept to what we needed to. And we opened up Collision with our other Continental Cup quarterfinal match, Orange Cassidy versus Kyle O'Reilly. Man, really good stuff here. Both Orange and Kyle are great. Really solid back and forth. And I'm going to be honest, I was really happy to see Mr. KOR beat Orange Cassidy and moving on to the semifinals. It's been really fun and interesting that the matches that have involved the conglomeration, Kyle has had to beat two of his conglomeration brothers, but KOR is now in the semifinals. And yeah, really good stuff. We have Divine Dominion in action next. Of course, this was just a squash match. So they end up retaining. The Brawling Birds come out to fight. Again, really, the formula has stayed the same over the last couple weeks. So can't really complain about it. Jungle Jack Perry, after his conversation with Swerve, he calls it out as do or die time. So Perry challenges Swerve to a match on Dynamite. So we're going to see how that goes tomorrow night. Should be some fun stuff. We get our final Continental Cup quarterfinal match, Claudio Castagnoli versus Daniel Garcia. Originally, it was Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston, but Eddie Kingston was not medically cleared. So at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view the night before on Friday, we had Adam Priest and Daniel Garcia compete in a play-in match, which Daniel Garcia won. So now he had to find his Death Rider stablemate in this match. Daniel Garcia tried, but Claudio Castagnoli beat that ass. He beat that ass, y'all. He beat that ass. Claudio Castagnoli wins. He moves on. And we get announced what our semifinal matches are going to be. So this Wednesday on Dynamite, we have Kyle O'Reilly versus Nigel McGuinness and Claudio Castagnoli versus John Moxley. Of these four individuals that are left, I am kind of rooting for Kyle and Claudio to make it to the finals. And then I would be happy either way for one of them to win. But we shall see how that turns out. But we get into our next match, the Hurt Syndicate and Lee Moriarty in trios action. The Hurt Syndicate once again leave Lee to win. Shane Taylor Promotions gets on a mic to challenge any trios. Thus, the Bang Bang Gang answer, and the Bang Bang Gang win. They call their shot to face the trios champions. So it seems that we're probably going to get like a large multi trios team match. Last week, Benny said that he would like to see this match kind of be the similar style, like in New Japan, of a Rambo match, which I would love to see. But we shall see how that turns out. So Next up, Tommaso Ciampa and Nick Wayne taking on Commander and Speedball Bailey. Really, really fun stuff. Really surprised that Tommaso and Nick won here over Speedball and Commander. But really fun stuff. I thought everyone worked together. I really hope we start to see more things for Tommaso now that his feud with Jericho is over. And I'm not going to complain. More Nick Wayne on my television screen is going to be great. On the other hand, though, I really hope we start to see Speedball start picking up some wins again and builds him back up to a championship seed and doing more for Commander as well. The Death Riders are feeling it. It is getting out of hand. Wheeler Yuta is over it. Baller. Main event time, AEW Women's World Championship, Willow Nightingale versus Maya World. Really fun match. Never doubted in my mind Willow was going to win. Really fun stuff. Really, showcasing Maya. Really good. Willow retains her championship, and that was AEW Collision. And that brings us to the end of our AEW post show. Again, I kind of sped run it through a little bit because it is just me, and I really want to talk about what is coming up next. So let me get this proper. Alrighty, kids. So now we are officially in the predictions portion of our show. As of right now, we only have a few matches announced for All In. We'll probably be getting more this week, but as of now, on Tuesday, August 25th, we are making our predictions for AEW All In at Wembley Stadium this Sunday, August 30th. I will be doing a watch along this Sunday, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to be watching the show as long as I can. Hopefully, it wraps up by 2. But if it goes past 2:30, I am going to end. Well, actually, if it goes past 2, I am going to end the watch along because I am going to have another obligation at 3. So I got to get ready and go to that. But I'm here to make my predictions for All in London at Wembley Stadium. Benny's and I's predictions and the rest of our AEW predictions crews will be posted on the socials on Sunday morning. But let's get into it. So, in no particular order, let's talk about the matches we have scheduled so far and who I think is going to win. Coming hot out of the gate, for our AEW World Championship, we have Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. My goodness, this is going to be an epic rubber match between the two. This has been a really fun story that has been built. I have to go. I'm going to go with Ospreay, man. It's really hard to bet against Ospreay right now. The story is there. The moment will be spectacular. But I'm going to go with Will Ospreay to become your new AEW World Champion. For our women's world champion, this is truly 50-50. I honestly don't know what is going to happen. So this is going to be some fun stuff. But I'm actually going to go with Willow to retain. I think Mercedes not being able to beat Willow would be fantastic stuff. And I think the spiral continuing and Willow being Mercedes kryptonite could be fun. So I'm going to go with Willow here. Next up for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, I have Copen Cage and the Bucks. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to win here, but who knows? I can see Cage and Cope retaining as well, but I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. Next up, we have Divine Dominion and the Brawling Birds for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships. Again, the story going into this has not been my favorite. It's the two ambushing and attacking each other. But I'm going to go with the Brawling Birds to become our new AEW Women's Tag Team Champions here. I do think this match is going to be really good, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we have our triple threat for the AEW International Championship. And honestly, I think this is going to be the sleeper hit of the night. We have Kyle Fletcher defending the title against both Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. Honestly, I would be fine with either one of these three men winning it, but I'm going to have Kyle retain. I think Kyle walks out of Wembley, still your international champion. So I'm going to go with Kyle Fletcher here. I think it's going to be good. In a Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT Championship, Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin. I don't know, man. It's really hard to bet against Darby. His Wembley record has been pretty good. I'm gonna go with Darby here. I think Darby winning the TNT Championship could be fun, but honestly, if Kevin Knight wins, I think it's gonna be good as well. So I'm gonna go with Darby here to become new champion, though. In our Casino Gauntlet match, of course, as of right now, we have MJF and Andrade starting out the match. Do I think either one of these two men are going to win? Yes. I think I'm gonna go with Andrade to win though, but it could be anyone. This match is really hard to win. So it should be interesting. But I'm gonna go with Andrade because actually no. No, yeah, I'm gonna go with Andrade. I'm gonna go with Andrade. And last but certainly not least, as of right now, the only other match that we have is our Continental Cup Finals. So again, at the time of this recording, Tuesday, August 25th, we have John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Kyle O'Reilly, and Nigel McGuinness still in the running. The semifinal matches are happening on Dynamite tomorrow. Um, but of those four, I'm gonna go with Claudio. I'm gonna pick Claudio to become our winner, not only of the Continental Cup, but of the become new AEW Continental Champion. And that's my predictions for AEW All in London. And thus, it brings us to the end of our AEW post show. Again, this is a pretty quick one as I am here just doing it by myself tonight. But fret not, this Sunday we will be doing a live watch along for AEW All in London. I will be here. Benny is going to be watching from home, and he will be tuning into at least one or two of the matches, especially Kenny versus Will. So that's going to be good stuff. But that's going to be it for me here tonight. We still got a really fun week. Tomorrow night, we have NXT, which is our go home post show, as well as our predictions for Heat Wave. We got CMLL. Then on Friday, we got TNA Lockdown. And then Sunday, we have our AEW All In Watch Along. So, really good stuff this weekend. From all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod to you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you on the flip side, but until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.